Thank you, Jerry. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Lovely to hear the voices in response. That's awesome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury. My name is Samantha McCoy. I've been a member here since 2003, and I'm currently serving as the chair of our Sunday Services Ministry team. We are so happy that you are here with us. If you are here online, if you are here in the fellowship hall, we thank you for joining us this morning, and our worship experience will be better because you are here. If you haven't done so already, now is a great time to silence your phones or other electronic devices you may have with you here in the fellowship hall. Before we jump into the worship part of our service, we have a few quick announcements. And today is a big and busy day here at UUCD. We've got our family fair that's happening today. You probably noticed the bounce house outside, which I know a lot of folks are looking forward to. There's also our annual homecoming picnic after the service. I hope you will stay to join for lunch. There is a Music at the Ridge concert happening later today at 4 o'clock. Mustard's Retreat will be here. So that is another event. You could just make a whole day out of it here at the UU Congregation of Danbury, and we hope a lot of you will. The other thing, well, two other things, but a big thing we want to point out is that our congregation is returning to a live in-person auction this year. And you can see some of the information up there on the screen, but I want to tell you a little bit more about it. There will be lots of goodies, lots of fun, and we are looking forward to this major fundraiser to be a huge success for our year. And you may be thinking, what can I or you all do to help? You could donate a dinner, a gift card, a service. Maybe you want to help make the in-person event work on November 2nd. If any of that sounds good to you, or if you have questions, please feel free to contact Barb Myers or Lisa Horton. And I see Lisa Horton in the corner. If you're here in the fellowship hall, say hello to Lisa. She would be happy to talk to you about the auction. So there is more information in the order of service. Please take a look at that. But the one thing I will specifically point out is that there's information printed in the order of service about supporting the local Paugussett tribes so that they can reapply for federal tribal status. So please take a look and consider if you can help with that action. So for now, that's the end of our announcements. Okay, so let's take a breath. Let's settle ourselves in for our service this morning. You may have arrived today feeling tired or weary with the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or you may arrive this morning in a spirit of celebration, glad to have another day, glad to see old friends and make new friends. You may be carrying joy from this past week. You may also have arrived this morning feeling a little unsure or unsteady, feeling neither here nor there, or maybe you're not feeling anything at all. However you're feeling this morning, we are happy to have you here. And together we make this a time of community, support, friendship, kindness, and inspiration. You're invited to laugh and cry, share, or be silent, just as you need to be. And as we gather this morning, we respectfully acknowledge that our physical building is on the traditional land of the Paugussett people. Before we get started this morning formally, I invite you to greet your neighbors, whether they are here or online, to say hello, introduce yourself, and take a moment.
How you doing? Yeah, feel good?
Whenever you're ready. We make this time and this place holy simply by being together with each other. And we begin by lighting the flaming chalice, which is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Please join me in reciting the words to our chalice lighting affirmation as our helpers this morning come up and help us light the flame. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and justice is its life. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek and speak the truth in love, to help one another, and celebrate life. And now I invite you to please rise, embody your spirit, and join in singing our hymn of welcome, which is Come and Journey with Me. It's in, the words are in your order of service as well as on the screen.
Come to the song, come to the dance, bring all you are and all you can be. Come with your voice, come with your heart, come and journey with me. Come and journey with me. Come, let the sun fill up your eyes. Take the time to look around and love, just love, and walk with each other. Come and journey with me. Come and journey with me. Come and see, come and be all you are and all you can be, and leave all behind and calm your mind. Come and journey with me. Come and journey with me.
Let's join in our children's affirmation. The words are on the screen. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for the earth and each other.
You want to stay there? Welcome. Good morning. It's Homecoming Sunday. I'm Reverend Tony Lorenzen. My pronouns are he, him, if you do not know who I am.
And I'm Reverend Sierra Marie, and my pronouns are she, her.
We're glad you're all with us this morning, whether here in the room or online. And we're going to celebrate our water ceremony this morning. So first of all, I want to let you know that if you do not bring water with you, there are pitchers of water around the room at the different bowls we'll be using, and you can just pour a little from one of those and you're all set. And you can pretend that water was brought from wherever you want it to be from. Now, it makes sense we have a ritual that is built around water. Nothing lives without water. Water's a basic requirement for life. It's life-giving. And people have been celebrating rituals and ceremonies with water for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We celebrate with water when the congregation comes back to life here in the fall after slowing down a little over the summer. And this year we've invited you to bring water from some place or event that is life-giving for you. Things can be life-giving in many ways. Like water or food, we need them just to stay alive and be ourselves and feel joy and love and enlivened. People and places bring us life, and the water can symbolize those people or places for you. Water, when we consider it on the face of things, can seem like such a simple thing, and we can take it for granted. But if we stop to think about it, water is amazing, beautiful, and powerful.
Water is a liquid, but when it turns cold, it becomes ice and snow. When it gets hot, it boils and bubbles and turns into steam. It can hang in the air as mist and fog and gather together into lakes and oceans and clouds.
My colleague, Linda Susan Ulrich, says some people will try to convince you that one drop of water isn't very important or powerful. Some people will say that the drip, 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 dripping of one drop after another doesn't mean much and really doesn't do much. But all of us, I bet, have seen caves or caverns or canyons, and we know that drops of water and flowing water can reshape stone and cut through mountains, given enough time.
Sometimes people will say clouds piled high on top of each other, looking like huge cotton balls, are just fluffy. But if you've ever flown through clouds in an airplane, the cloud is much bigger than it looks from the ground. If you've ever been in a thunderstorm, you know these clouds can be scary too, not just cute.
So this year, as we do our water ritual, instead of everyone pouring the water they brought into one bowl, we have 4 bowls placed around the sanctuary here in the position of the directions, north, east, south, and west. And we will let you choose which one you go to pour your water.
Please pour your water into a pitcher that reflects either the physical direction from which your water came, or choose a bowl in which to pour your water into based on a symbolic meaning that is attached to that direction. The direction east is represented by the element of air, and the direction is said to be the direction of new beginnings and related to childhood and youth and the human brain and intellect. The direction of south is represented by the element of fire and associated with passion. Whoops. The time of adulthood and spirituality and the human spirit. And the direction of west is represented by the element of water and associated with deep meaning, complex things, the time of middle age, and our emotions. The direction north is represented by the element earth and associated with grounding, home, the time of old age, and the physical body.
If you need to remind yourself what the directions represent, They're conveniently listed in your order of service, and they are posted next to each of the bowls with the direction that they go with. For example, if you're deciding where to place your water, you may have traveled west to get your water and choose the west bowl. Or your water may come from a garden that's on the south side of your house, so you choose the south bowl. Your water may relate to an outing where you flew a kite, so you might choose to put your water in the east bowl because of the symbolism of air and wind. Or you might be, say, 7 years old and choose to put your water in the east bowl because that's the direction of youth and childhood. Your water may come from a place where you went camping and had a campfire, so you choose the south bowl and the element of fire. Your water might be from a very emotional time, such as attending a funeral of someone you love, so you choose the west bowl due to the heavy sadness and emotion related to your water. Or your water might be from a visit to a grandparent, or you might be a grandparent, so you choose the north bowl with the symbolism of elders and advanced age. All we're going to do is pour our water. But after the service this morning, we're going to have a picnic. And we will put these signs, the west, north, east, south, and what they represent, on the tables. And I invite you to sit at tables matching where you poured your water and to share the story with those around you. I invite you now to pour your water.
we're going to take a moment to light our lantern with the flame of our chalice. And wait, now. You're going to follow Nell and Sterling. If there are children and youth who would like to go out to the bounce house and the festival outside, it is time to follow Sterling. We're going to stay behind Sterling while he carries the lantern. Let's sing this little light of mine together.
Light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Don't know about you, but they had me at Bounce House.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I invite you into the living waters of prayers and reflections from around our living tradition, from the Hebrew Scriptures. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your needs in parched places, and make your bones strong, and you shall be like a watered garden, a spring of water whose waters never fail. From the Christian Scriptures, on the last day of the festival, the great day, while Jesus was standing there, he cried out, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me, and let the one who believes in me drink. As the Scripture has said, out of the believer's heart will flow rivers of living water." Inuit shaman Avunuk says, "The great sea has set me in motion, set me adrift, moving me as the reed moves in a river. The arch of sky and mightiness of storms have moved the spirit within me, till I am carried away, trembling with joy." From Langston Hughes, I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood and human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down in New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. From Rabindranath Tagore, the same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measure. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and of death, in ebb and flow. I feel my limbs made glorious by the touch of this world of life. And my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood at this moment. Thich Nhat Hanh writes, "Water flows from high in the mountains. Water runs deep in the earth. Miraculously, water comes to us and sustains all life. Water and sun green these plants. When the rain of compassion falls, even a desert becomes an immense green ocean." And from Mary Oliver, "At Blackwater Pond, the tossed waters have settled after a night of rain. I dip my cupped hands. I drink a long time. It tastes like stone, leaves, fire. It falls cold into my body, waking the bones. I bear them deep inside me, whispering, oh, what is that beautiful thing that just happened? We get to that time on Sundays, the beautiful time, the beautiful thing that just happens coming from our hearts as we share with each other milestones of our lives, both silently and in words. This is a time of togetherness. We remind each other that as all rivers flow to the sea, we are all flowing towards each other in community, and the community needs, even requires each and every one of us, not only to be present in the community, but present to each other.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life a shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our reading this morning is from a piece titled Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. If love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact on what was considered organizing. If the goal was to increase the love rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential. We would organize with the perspective that there is wisdom and experience and amazing stories in the communities we love. Instead of starting up new ideas or organizations all the time, we would want to listen, support, collaborate, merge, and grow through fusion, not competition. So ends the reading. And now is the time in our service where we accept offerings for this congregation. When you give your time and energy to the work of this congregation, and when you donate to its financial support, you're giving gifts to each other. Each one of us gives to and receives these gifts. Together, we then can give to the community around us. To make your gift this morning, you have multiple options. There's the QR code that shows on the screen. The plates will pass here in the fellowship hall, and we always welcome checks mailed to us at 24 Clapboard Ridge Road in Danbury. We thank you for your continued generosity.
homecoming Sunday, have our water ceremony. Labor Day has passed. Students have returned to school. Attendance at UU congregations is going up once again. And it's once again that time of year when Unitarian Universalists around Danbury and all over the country receive letters by owl or post or email, inviting them out of the muggling world to an amazing adventure. In case you missed your letter, or we had an incorrect address for you, it read something like this. Dear friend, we are pleased to inform you that you have been invited to the Unitarian Universalist School of Humaning and Community. Please find an enclosed list of all necessary reading materials and equipment. Sincerely, Reverend Tony Lorenzen, Minister. On the back of your letter would be a list of required reading and supplies. So in case you missed it, this is what it says. 1, required reading, a copy of Authentic Selves, Celebrating Trans and Non-Binary People and Their Families, which is the 2024-2025 Unitarian Universalist Association Common Read for the year. A copy of the newly amended Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist bylaws outlining the 7 Unitarian Universalist values and their accompanying covenants. A copy of Reverend Tony Lorenzen's monthly thematic resources to dive deeper into what's happening here in the congregation month to month. Other equipment and other supplies you'll want to have for this year. 1 chalice, 1 Progress Pride flag, 1 open mind, 1 loving heart. Wands and broomsticks are optional. So now that you have your reading material and supplies list and you're getting ready to come back to the School of Humaning and Community, I want to go into a little bit of something that makes this experience a little bit deeper. You get a little bit more out of it. So part of your required reading is my thematic resources. You know, the most important foundational reason Unitarian Universalist School of Humaning and Community exists is to help everyone be the best person they can be and to build the strongest community possible. Toward these ends, we offer a lot of excellent learning opportunities, and one of those is every month I circulate a set of resources related to our monthly theme. You can find these resources in our weekly email, on our social media, and posted on the web. These resources serve, or at least are meant to serve, as a basic self-study adult spiritual formation class on our theme every month. Every month there are questions to ponder, quotes to make you think, suggested reading, suggested viewing and listening, and for those of you who are like me in school, an extra credit spiritual challenge. Now, I believe in your order of service today, you actually have a copy of this required reading. Our theme this month, for example, is invitation. And as you note, there are interesting questions to ponder. For example, what is the most beautiful invitation you've ever received? And you can consider that invitation of any kind. What is your way of being in the world, inviting people to do or become? What's an invitation you're not accepting because of fear? If you could only invite one new thing into your life in the coming year, what would it be? In addition to these interesting questions to ponder, I'll also send you a handful of quotes related to our theme. So our quotes this month are, "Change is not a threat to your life, but an invitation to live," by Adrienne Rich. "I respectfully decline the invitation to join your hallucination," Scott Adams. "True hospitality is when someone leaves your home feeling better about themselves, not better about you," Shauna Nyquist. "A real conversation always contains an invitation. You are inviting another person to reveal themselves to you, to tell you who they are or what they want," the poet David White. Every month, I'll give you a list of books that are related to our theme in one way or another. This month, they are Trusting Change, Finding Our Way Through Personal and Global Transformation by Karen Herring. New Beginnings, An Invitation to Know Yourself and Change Your Destiny by Yuen Tse. Radical Welcome, Embracing God, the Other, and the Spirit of Transformation by Stephanie Sellers. And Faithful Practices, Everyday Ways to Feed Your Spirit by Eric Walker Wickstrom. I will also recommend movies, streaming, television shows, videos, such as Inside Out 2, the recent follow-up to Inside Out, where there's a whole bunch of other emotions in the character now that they're hitting adolescence. The Bear, if you haven't watched The Bear yet, there's a lot of invitation going on in that show. Somebody Somewhere is also an amazing story of inviting reinvention in yourself and others, as the reinvention in you maybe inspires them or challenges them to deal with you in a new or different way. And Once, on the invitation to connect and heal. Now, for those of you who are deep into your spiritual life or like that extra credit option, every month I will offer a spiritual challenge. And my spiritual challenge is always related to the theme. And I've had somebody tell me something about the spiritual challenge, which I really like, is they said to me, "I didn't know spiritual contained so much. I always thought of it much more narrowly. All your things you call spiritual challenges." Well, that's part of the point of doing these. So my challenge to you for this month is to both accept and offer a courageous invitation. A courageous invitation, that's one that's difficult for you to make or accept. And what makes it difficult for you to accept or to offer is going to be different depending on who you are. What's difficult for one may be not a problem for another person. Examples: perhaps you might invite someone with whom you're in a conflict or an argument, or somebody with whom you're angry, to have a conversation to clear the air and patch things up. Maybe you've been putting off accepting such an invitation from someone else. Maybe you've been meaning to try a new hobby or a new food or start a fitness routine. You might extend and accept an invitation from yourself to do some of that. Maybe there's a person you've been wanting to ask out on a date, might even be a current partner. Or maybe someone you'd like to befriend. You thought, I like that person, we should be friends. Well, invite them to go do something. Reach out. Extend the invitation. Many invitations come our way in our life. Look for them. Sometimes we miss them. Invite and accept an invitation this month. See if you can make it one that's a little challenging for you. Take a little risk. Push your comfort zone a little bit. Now, don't offer an invitation or accept one that's dangerous. I'm not asking you to do that. Just a little bit of a push, a little extra. Now, this challenge is published in our weekly email. I make a video about it every month that's posted on YouTube and on our social media. And what I do is I always ask at the end, if you accept the challenge, get in touch and let me know how you did. I've been doing these for over 3 years, And there's one person who doesn't really come to church regularly, but she does it every single month and sends me an email about it for the whole time I've been doing it. It's pretty amazing. So those are the things I will put out there on a regular basis. If you're thinking that some of these things are interesting, well, that's where our chalice circles come in, as some of the other great offerings we have. Chalice circles meet in a small group once a month with the same people to share thoughts on these resources that we just went through. So if that sounds interesting to you, please get in touch with me. We have 2 circles going right now. One is on second Sundays still. Second Sundays after the service, although not today, right? Because we have the picnic. Just meeting for a few minutes today, and then they'll get going. And mine meets the 3rd Tuesday of the month. If those aren't good times for you and you'd like to do this, let me know. We'll see if we can get another time and another group going, get another facilitator. Also this year, I would like to offer a class on preaching at the School of Humaning and Community, so that we might develop some more of our own preachers and speakers here. I think there's a lot of you who might do really excellent job and join the team of taking a turn once or twice a year. I'm also thinking of offering a class on the Bible for religious liberals. We live in a climate that can be very religiously fundamentalist. And if you don't know anything about this document or collection of documents, you might find it useful to know what it is and isn't, and know when people really are misusing it and how to counter that. So if that interests you, look for that. I might be offering that this year. We also have movies with a message returning and spiritually speaking. We've heard Music at the Ridge is back. All this stuff is spiritual opportunity. Even our men's coffee group, I finally found a time I can go because I'm always at the other church on Wednesdays, but we found a time. So because someone at the other church canceled a meeting for that day, but I did it, I found it. But all of this is spiritual opportunity. Even those conversations you have over coffee, which you may not think of as spiritual, I think of those things as spiritual. I know I'm the minister, I know, but I really do think they are. In the Unitarian Universalist School of Humaning and Community is not just a place for spiritual growth, but also community and community service. And I remind you that you get more out of this School of Humaning and Community the more you participate and the more you get involved. This is a cooperative effort. There are only a few part-time faculty members here. We need all of us to take part to make this as good as it can be for everyone. But what we learn is that we're all teachers and we're all learners. So it's a perfect cycle. We also encourage everyone to engage in a service learning project. Give of yourself to the greater community as well as this congregation. And although it's not required at the School of Humaning and Community, we highly recommend weekly chapel attendance. But I can't emphasize enough the impact of those extracurriculars. When I was in high school myself, I was a completely uninvolved high school student. I played football a couple of years, played tennis, didn't do much else. No student government, no clubs, no activities. I think I went to one student event freshman year. But when I got to college, it was different. Even though I was still that same nerdy, introverted person, I somehow managed to get really involved. I wrote for and then served on the editorial staff of the student newspaper. I was a DJ and then one of the officers of the student radio station. 91.3 FM, WXPL, Fitchburg State Radio, pray for waves. I organized and coordinated a student chapter of Amnesty International. I was a liturgical musician on the campus, in the campus chapel. And none of this would have happened had I not accepted what was for me a courageous invitation. my buddy Matt, one day, halfway through freshman year, at the end of our English comp class, asked me to go grab coffee. And he said he did that because at the end of class, I was always usually wearing some band t-shirt and putting a cassette tape in my Walkman. The 1980s, the Walkman. And he realized all the bands and stuff on my shirt and all the tapes he saw, they were all his favorites too. So he told me this later, said, so I figured I had to get to know you, even though you were really weird and I was a little frightened by you. And I said, really? Why'd you say that? And he said, well, I mean, look at you from the outside at that time, Tony. You wore yellow sweatpants, music t-shirts, a turquoise denim jacket, carried a pink backpack. Come on, you were a little weird. Like, fair enough. But we did bond over the U2 and the Alarm and the Clash and Tears for Fears and REM. And through Matt, I met some of his friends who became my friends. And you may have read my piece in the newsletter this month that for the last 40 years, I've been meeting these people, hanging out with these people. And even though we get separated by miles and decades, we make an effort at least once a year to all get together. What an amazing part of my life I never would have had if someone hadn't been brave enough to extend a courageous invitation. And me, the nerdy, shy introvert who almost never took anyone up on that, even to go down to the student union and get coffee, accepted. And now I speak in front of people for a living. I mean, there was a major change that helped to get going right there in that one invitation. Those invitations are important. So just as I got invited, I want to invite you. We don't just want you to participate. We don't just invite you. We depend on you accepting the invitation and on your allowing that invitation to deepen and mature and develop and gain confidence and commitment. You know, in the Harry Potter universe, when the students arrive at the school, they are sorted into the dormitories they'll be in via the sorting hat. And they put the hat on each student's head, and it tells them what dorm they're going to be in, Gryffindor or Hufflepuff or Slytherin or Ravenclaw. You can take an online test to figure out which one you'd be in if you want to. So wouldn't it be cool if we had a sorting hat in the congregation where everyone puts it on their head and it tells you how you should be involved in the congregation? So let's see if it works. Board of Trustees. Sunday Services Committee. It works. Would anybody else like to try it on? No? There you go. What would you like to get involved in? Choir! Choir! Would anyone else like to try on this? It's magical, I'm telling you.
Music at the Ridge.
Music at the Ridge! There you go. Movies with a message.
Yeah.
Movies with a message. All right.
Buildings and grounds.
Buildings and grounds.
Dorothy Day.
Dorothy Day. Woo. Sunday services technical. Oh, good.
The auction and family ministry.
The auction and family ministry. Hullabaloo.
Chalice Circle.
Chalice Circle.
and membership.
Auction and membership. And we have the hat. If you go to membership, the membership team will help you. They'll find out where you need to be.
The Palestine Solidarity Committee.
There you go. Excellent.
Hello, can't see you. Once a month, a women's group.
A women's group, once a month, a monthly women's group. I love the sorting hat. You never know. It knows everyone's heart.
Some kind of a discussion with non-gender.
Excellent. Now that we have our own sorting hat, we can continue to use it. I think it may become part of our new member class from now on. As we always do, need more people to help us plan and play music and lead services. We need people to work on fundraising, a pledge drive, and the auction. We need more people to organize social justice work. We need more people to help organize community dinners. We need a community dinner. The hat knows that. Be careful if you try it on. We even could use more help making coffees on Sundays. So if you are ready now to get going to the UU School of Humaning and Community, we're going to head on down to Clapboard Ridge Road Station, platform 24 2/3. And we're going to get on that train that takes us to Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Danbury Community. And as one of my favorite theologians, Woody Guthrie, said, this train we're on don't carry no gamblers, no thieves, no big shot ramblers. This train's bound for glory, this train is. This train don't carry no con men, no wheelers, dealers, here and gone men. This train is bound for glory, this train is. And as my other favorite theologian, Bruce Springsteen, says, this train carries losers and winners. This train carries saints and sinners. This train carries lost souls. On this train, dreams will not be thwarted. This train, your faith will be rewarded. On this train, hear the people sing in this train. Bells of freedom ring. This train is bound for glory. This train is. All aboard. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing our hymn of celebration. It's number 1028 in the teal hymnal. The words are also on the screen. The Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and souls ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, when our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and souls ablaze, our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of a youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and souls ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Before we extinguish the chalice, I've been sitting here and my view has been of all the happy children bouncing in that bounce house. So if you haven't had a chance to go out and see that, you should see that. Stay for the food, stay for the concert. Maybe talk to Lynn Tabersack about some postcards to voters. There's all kinds of things to do. But now let's extinguish our chalice. So please join me with the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we bury in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
This service is ended, but our service to the world now begins. As you have been invited this morning, so too go and invite others, because this train is bound for glory. Go in peace.